Have you heard the phrase, I need a vacation after my vacation? Well, this is because we often come home more stressed than relaxed. Today, we're going to talk about determining the purpose for your getaway and some tips for a peaceful trip. Hi, and welcome to the Peaceful Home. I'm Teresa Elling, if we haven't met, and I'm so happy to have you here today. Now, this is a little bit different than my normal content, but it certainly fits into home and family and having peace surrounding us. Often when we take vacations, trips, getaways, they are less than peaceful. They can actually cause more stress to our lives, which really negates the entire purpose of a getaway. The definition of vacation is an extended period of leisure and recreation, especially away from home. We've all heard about staycations, and that is certainly an option. But today, these tips are going to focus on a getaway away from your home. Number one, determine the purpose of your getaway. Is it for rest? Is it for adventure? Is it for sightseeing? It's so important to realize this. In the past, I think I thought I was getting away to rest, but I packed our schedule so full of things that there was no rest to be had. And by the time we got home, I was exhausted. So I began to think, what is the purpose of this trip? Knowing that will help you to plan better. Regardless of the purpose, let's say that you are going to vacation in Rome and you're going to see all the things. You want to see the Vatican and take a tour of the Colosseum and go on a boat ride and visit Pompeii. You know that you are there for a once-in-a-lifetime trip to see these amazing sights. You still need pockets of rest. You've got to plan that in your schedule or you will burn yourself out. This is especially important if you are traveling with others or traveling with children. I suggest a daily quiet time for everyone. Regardless of the time, fit it in your schedule where everyone gets a break. Not only does this allow time for rest, but traveling together can be tricky. It can push a lot of buttons in people, and everybody just needs some time away from each other. It really will help. You might be planning a trip for rest purposes. So because of that, you might choose a cabin by a lake. We have a cottage by the river. Our Airbnb, which I'll link below, is a place that I have been surprised. People will come and book 2 days to spend in the sequoias. And after 1 day in the sequoias, they'll say, we just want to stay here and rest. So don't overestimate the need for that. If you're planning an adventure, maybe you're going water skiing or you're going to ride motorcycles in the desert. You still need to have spots where you can rest and rejuvenate in the midst of your activities. Number two, plan your budget. Plan ahead. Pay cash for your vacations. Please do not go into debt. It's worth it to take the extra time to save and be debt-free. Make sure you include a buffer, a mini emergency fund of sorts for your vacation, just in case it's needed. You can also search Pinterest for free things to do in Miami or wherever you're going, and I guarantee you will get some ideas. Another way to save money is to make sure that your accommodations have a kitchen and cook some of your meals in-house. We typically would plan on 2 meals in and 1 meal out. Another thing that my husband and I do when we're traveling alone, we just plan on intermittent fasting. So we shorten our eating window and we do 2 meals. And that really saves a ton of money. Number 3, do your research on places to go and food to eat. Now, I do this mainly on Pinterest, and it's really easy. Simply search for the best things to do in Idaho or the best food to eat in San Francisco. When I do this, I have a notepad, I begin to look at different blogs, and I will take notes on the things that are recommended. What I find is as I go through the various articles, there will be things that stand out. So let's say that Joe's Diner is mentioned at one of the places, and then another, and then another. I'm making tally marks that so far 7 people have recommended that we go to this restaurant. So that really helps me to see the things that are really standing out. Once I have my notes of the different restaurants and activities that we want to try, I start to go to the particular websites. I look at ticket prices for an excursion or an adventure or a tour. I check out the menu of a restaurant that was recommended. You also need to take notes as to the location. So recently we went to Phoenix, and I'm going to be doing 2 videos coming up on, well, actually more than 2, but best food, best desserts and sweet spots, and best things to do in Phoenix. I'll link those below once they air. But for this trip to Phoenix, I had all of these recommendations, and I began to look at, okay, if we plan a trip tubing on the Salt River, and that is in the northeast part of town, I probably don't want to pick a lunch spot that's in the far south. So you can get an idea of what things are in what areas and the things that you want to group together. Number 4 is to finalize your plans and write out a schedule. We were in Phoenix for a week, and so I was planning an entire 7 days of meals and activities and rest. Now, this might be a little nerdy for some of you, but if you're interested, this is a great way to plan. I use sticky notes, and I kind of map out the week with ideas of the things that I know we really want to do. So kind of our must-sees, must-do, those go on the schedule first. And I use sticky notes because they can be moved. If I originally put this excursion on a Wednesday and later we can only get tickets for Friday, I can easily move it. Now, the things that are set in stone, I will just write, but the sticky notes are great because it allows me to move things around to accommodate for people we meet that make different recommendations, a place that's closed, or just a change of heart. We can shift things around, no problem. If you're a visual person, this can be really helpful. We were 1 week in Phoenix and then almost a week in Flagstaff. And so for this first week, you can see our food is yellow and activities are in the hot pink. And actually my husband played golf twice, which I did in the lavender. And the thing is, originally I had a whole bunch of extras. Well, like down here, Flagstaff, these were all things we didn't do and places we didn't go to eat. But they were there as options. So if at the last minute we wanted to swap something out, we could. And it just helps me to plan a little better. We also made sure to have large gaps. And when my husband was thrifting, when my husband was playing golf, I was resting, and when I was thrifting, he was resting. So that, in addition to some days where we really didn't have anything planned, that allowed us to have a great balance of rest and recreation. Once you have a pretty good idea of what you'll be doing, you want to make sure that at least mentally you kind of are prepared for the things coming up. Now, this is not a video on what to pack for your trip. That could be another one. Let me know if you're interested in that. You want to be able to plan ahead for some things. Some excursions or a concert or something where you need to purchase tickets, you might want to do that in advance, a week to 2 to 3, possibly more, depending on the activity. And so it can be helpful to purchase those ahead of time so that you're not stuck being in this amazing place and they're sold out. We often will do 1 or 2 things that are really important to us ahead of time, and the rest of the time we're just flexible. If we can get tickets, great, and if we can't, we'll find something else to do. Knowing what you're going to be doing also gives you a heads up on your packing. So for example, we knew in Arizona that we were going to be doing a rafting trip on the Colorado. And so Kevin had a hat that has really good exposure. I did not. So I needed to order a hat. We also got full sleeve sun shirts to wear, and we needed to order those from Amazon. And you don't want to be doing this 2 days before your trip. I mean, Amazon's amazing. Sometimes I've gotten things same day or next day, but you don't have a guarantee. So plan ahead so you can get the things you need. Number 5, have a written list of what to pack. So again, I'm not going to go into details right now, but you need to write it down. Please do not rely on your memory if you want to lessen your stress. Put your suitcase out days before your departure time and begin to fill it up. I guarantee you will think of things that weren't on the list. Number 6, as you are preparing to leave, make sure that you are eating up the food in your house. This is also a great way to save a little extra money. Don't run to the store, don't eat out. Put all of that towards your trip. Finish up what you've got in the house and leave your house clean. If at all possible, do a quick vacuum, dust, make sure dishes are done, laundry is done. It makes such a difference when you get home after a trip and you walk into a clean home. I would love to know if you have thought through on your vacations the purpose of that trip. If so, would you comment below and let me know, are you more likely to take a rest trip, an adventure trip, or a sightseeing trip? If you're new here, I would love it if you would consider subscribing and hit that notification bell to be alerted for upcoming videos. If anyone is interested in a video on traveling with kids or the packing list, let me know and I'll consider those for the future. And be on the lookout for my upcoming travel videos. Thank you so much for joining me today on The Peaceful Home. I hope that you are able to plan a peaceful vacation very soon. Have a great day.